Good morning, welcome to Morning Maths. It's day 32. You just need pencil and paper or pen and paper. And let's get going. Question 1 and the year 3 level questions. How many tens is 300? This is a bit different from what we normally ask for question 1. So usually it might be something like, just write 300 with the hats. What's the value of the 0 here? Well, it's 0 units. What's the value of the 0 here? 0 tens. What's the value of the 3 here? 3 hundreds. But it's different to that, this question. How many tens is 300? It wants to know. How many tens is 300? So I'll tell you how this works. If they were to ask how many units is 300, it is 300 units. We normally just say 300. So that number is 300 units. If they were to ask how many tens that number is, it's actually 30 tens. You stop when you get to the tens column, 30 tens. That's going to be our answer. Or if they ask for hundreds, you just say 300s. So this number could be said in many different ways. We could say what we normally say, which is it's 300. But you could actually say it's 300 units, or 30 tens, or 300s. And what they were asking for is how many tens, and it's 30 tens. Different to the usual place value question we've got. How many tens is 300, or how many tens are in 300? There's 30 of them in there. 30 tens. Let's go on to question 2. Question 2 is plus 249 plus 58. Be careful with your lining up. Make sure it lines up down the right side. Down here, down the right side. 249 plus 58. Pause if you need time to copy. 9 plus 8 is 17. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 2 plus a little 1, 3. 307. 249 got bigger, because that's what plus does, makes things bigger. Let's go over that, little check. 307. Time to move on to question 3. Column subtraction to do this minus question. 331 minus 245. So 1 take away 5. You can't do that. 1 take away 5. 1. If you have 1 sweet, you can't give away 5. 1 needs to take 1 from here. So it goes down to 2. Bring 1 over there. 11 take away 5 is 5. Notice sometimes I say take 1, sometimes I say borrow 1. Because you will hear different teachers and different adults saying both of them. So it's good that you know both things that might be said. So we borrowed 1 from the 3, it went down to a 2, we brought it over here. 11 take away 5. 11 take away 5 is not 5, is it? I'm sure you're shouting that at the screen. 11 take away 5 is not 5. 11 take away 5 is 6. That's why you check. 2 take away 4, we can't do that. So 2 we need to borrow from this 3 here in the hundreds column. Goes down to a 2. Brings 1 over there. 12 take away 4, that is 8. 2 take away 2 is 0. You could write 0 or you could just leave it. If 2 take away 2 is nothing, so there's nothing there. This also says nothing, doesn't it? So 86 is fine. Minus makes things smaller, so 331. When we took this away, it got smaller. There's only 86 left now. And we'll move on to question 4. Question 4, 4 times 9. We could sing this. I'll sing it first. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and 28, and 32, 36. The answer is going to be 36. I'm just going to do a picture version of the answer as well. This is like having 4 rowers. You might remember the rowers from Olympic flip charts. 4 rowers, 1, 2, 3, 4, in a boat. How many rowers would there be in 9 boats? Well, it's not just 4. That's 1 boat, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boats. Now we've got 9 boats. I'll put them all over the place so you can see there's 9 separate boats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 boats. They've all got 4 rowers in. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and 28, and 32. 36. The answer is 36, as we already knew. Let's move on to question 5. A little bit of a larger division today. For question 5, 46 divided by 2. 46 divided by 2. So like yesterday, I'm going to share it out using these rods and counters here. So 46 divided by 2, I've got 10 and 20. Now I've got 30. Now I've got 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. You want to check you've got 46. Don't want to share out the wrong number of things. So 46, I'm going to share it between two. I'll make two groups. One down here, well, one over here. Doesn't really matter where you put the groups. This group gets 1, this group gets 1 of the 10s. So now they've both got 20, haven't they? 10 and 20, 10 and 20. One over here of the little ones, the units. One over here, one over here, one over here, and one over here. So 46 divided by 2 equals 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23. I'll check the other group's got 23. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, because that's what dividing by 2 is. It's sharing out fairly between two people or two groups. 46 divided by 2 is 23. Time to move on to year 4 level work and question 6. Question 6. There's a missing box question. It's a place value question really. 4003 plus something makes 4043. Now I know these numbers are very similar, that's how I can set it out like this, and it hopefully will show you the difference. 3, you don't need to plus anything to that to get to another 3. 0 to get to 4, you would need to plus 4. 0 to get to 0, nothing. 4 to get to 4, nothing. So actually 40 is what needs to be added to 4003 to get 4043. You might be able to see that just by looking at the question. There's the 4,000, there's the 4,000. There's the 3 units, there's the 3 units. There's the 0 hundreds, there's the 0 hundreds. The only place that's changed is this 0 changed to a 4. And of course it was in the tens column, wasn't it? Units, tens. The tens column changed to a 4, so 4 tens is 40. Let's move on to question 7. Big plus for year 4. Year 4's what you need to be able to do is 4-digit additions like this. 4 digits plus 4 digits. You need to be accurate on those by the end of year 4. And if you can be really accurate on these, which means getting them right every time, then try to get really fast on them and stay accurate. So this is really year 4 level addition. 6 plus 7 is 13. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 8 plus a little 1, that's not a little 1. 8 plus this one, plus this little 1 is 10. This is the thousands column. It's actually turned out to be 10,000. You carried a 1, goes over there. Commas go 3 from the end if you have them. 10,003, so just over 10,000. Just a little bit over 10,000. 10,003. Let's move on to question 8. 542 less than 2,000. So some of you might do this. Don't do this though, because it's wrong. And it will probably look very wrong when you see it. If you did it in the order of the question, I've done it in red to show that it's wrong. 542 take away 2,000, that's not going to work. That's wrong lining up because the biggest number has to go at the top and 2,000 is the biggest number. So let's put it at the top. 2,000 minus 542. Even though 542 was in the question first, it doesn't go in the workings first in this case. So 542 less than 2,000. Some borrowing or taking needed. That goes down to a 1. That goes down to a 9. That goes down to a 9. 10 take away 2 is 8. 9 take away 4 is 5. 9 take away 5 is 4. And 1. 1,458. I do a little check with my number bonds because I know 58 goes with 42 to make 100. That's one of the checks I'll use to make sure that's right. 1,458. And we're on question 9. Times. Now I'll do 2 methods for this. Grid method, I'll have to squeeze the grid method in because it's quite a big number for use with the grid method, but it does work fine. I know lots of you like the grid method. I'll check with the standard method after. times, I'm going to have to squeeze though here rather than use each square as I should. 4,000, because it's units, tens, hundreds and thousands. So I put the 1,000 in first. Now I'll put in 500s, 500. Now I'll put in 9 tens, 90. Literally 90, 90. And then I'll put in 2 units, just 2. We're going to multiply all that by 6. I'm going to get 4 answers, which I'll have to add up at the end, which will probably need column addition, especially when you're multiplying by 6, which is quite a difficult number, because the 6 times table is not one of the easiest. 6 times 4, that's 24. And you place the zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros to place. 24,000, a very big answer we're getting here. Over here, 6 times 5, that is 30. Makes its own 0. You've still got 2 more zeros to place. 1, 2. 6 times 90. 6 times 9 is 54. 1 0 to place. And 6 times 2 is 12. I'm definitely going to add this up with column addition in this bright green colour today. I'm going to have to squeeze this a bit. In fact, yeah, let's go. 24,000. Weirdly, I'm putting the 3,000 at the top because I've got a bit more space there. This colour's weird. 540 and 12. Just move these out of the way. They won't mind, will they? So let's add all that up. You don't have to put the biggest number at the top in addition. You can, but you don't have to. 2, 5, 5, 7, 2. That's a big answer for year 4. 27,552. Commas go 1, 2, 3 digits from the end if you have them. 27,552. I'm going to check that 27,552 with the standard method. 27,552. I'll see if I get that with the standard method as well when I do. So I'm still on number 9. Just doing a check for number 9, and some people like this method, don't they? So help them practice this method. 18, 54 plus 1, 55, 30 plus a little 5, 35. This is not the same, is it? It's not the same. 6 times 2 is not 18, that's why. Already done it wrong. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 1 is 55. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 5 is 35. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. I can't believe it. Sometimes on some of these videos, I'll literally just say 2 times 6 is 18, which is what I put before. For some reason, my mind just does things wrong sometimes, and most people are the same, so you need to very, very carefully check what you're doing. In fact, I've never seen a child in the school who hasn't ever got something wrong. We all make mistakes, just got to find them. 27,552, and we move to question 10. Bus stop for a big number like this, 2,736 divided by 3. So how many 3s fit into 2,736? A lot of 3s fit in there, don't they? A lot. How many 3s fit into 2,000? Oh, a lot of 3s fit into 2,000. But the way we do the bus stop is we say how many 3s fit into 2, and that is 0. We're cheating a little bit, really, with this method, aren't we? It's a way to get the answer without having to count out with 2,736 counters. How many 3s in 27? 3, 6, 9, 12 and 15, 18, 21 and 24, 27. If you count on your fingers, your songs, you'll get 9. How many 3s in 3? Exactly 1. 3 is 3, so it's 1. How many 3s in 6? 3, 6. My finger said 2. 912. So there's a lot of 3s in 2,736. There's 912 of them. But hopefully by now you understand very well what division is. You understand that it is sharing things out. I do a lot of that in the year 3 work, don't I? So now you can use the bus stop to speed yourself up, really, and use the bus stop for big numbers. Time to move on to the year 5 level, question 11. Value of the 2 in 4.289. So I always line up the point, and the units comes before the point. So the rest of it is little bits. little bits known as fractions or decimals, because fractions or decimals are just little bits. Fractions basically are decimals, they just look different. So what's a 2 worth? 2/10. So we could say 2/10. We could write it like that. As a decimal, well, another way of writing 2/10, of course, is 2/10. That's called a fraction. Let's put brackets there. And as a decimal, this number is, you just change everything to a 0 except for the number you're talking about, which was the value of the 2. So that's a 2, everything else can just become zeros. So it's worth 0.200, which is the same as 0.20 and the same as 0.2. So as a decimal, the answer is, put that in brackets as well, 0.2. So we have 3 answers here, they're all correct. This one is basically in words, 2/10. This one's a fraction, 2/10, and this one's a decimal, 0.2. They're all worth the same because decimals are fractions in a different form. Right, let's go on to question 12. Addition, 4-digit number and a 5-digit number. Doesn't matter which one you put on the top. In addition, I'll put the biggest one on the top. No decimals here, so they just line up down the right, like they always did when you started in year 3, because you didn't have decimals in year 3. 6 plus 6 is 12. 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 3 plus 3 is 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. 9 plus 1 is 10. That's big, isn't it? 101,682. Commas go 3 from the end. 1, 2, 3 digits from the end. That's where you get a comma. If you don't understand how to use commas, just leave them out because you don't have to put them in. But that's where they go if you know how to use them. Important you don't get the commas wrong. Best to just not do them, because that is okay. And if you do them, you must get them right. So 101,682. Commas really in maths, all they do is make it easier to say numbers. That's the thousands comma, so I say it like this: 101,682. They're really for helping you say numbers. Let's get to question 13. 7 take away 3.86. What's the biggest number? Because that's going on the top in a subtraction, isn't it? 7 is bigger than 3.86. Because 7 is 7 point nothing, or 7.0, or in this case 7.00. Very important skill to know that you put the 0.00 on the 7 to make this work. I'll do the borrowing or taking right the way across, and we get 4, 1, 4. 4? 3. So is the answer 314? Nope, it's 3.14, isn't it? 3.14. Don't forget your decimal points. And question 14. This is a bit like the one we did yesterday. Yesterday we did 60 times 0.5. 70 times 0.5. 0.5 is a half. So this is 70 times a half, which is half of 70. So the answer is 35. Half of 70 is 35. But I'm going to show you what you would do if you did it with column method. You don't really line it up properly with decimal multiplication. So I normally line it up and then put the decimals in. They're not lined up correctly, but that's how multiplication works with the long method. Lots of this is going to be 0. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 7, 35. Next line, 0 times 0, 0 times 7 is just all 0. So we get 350, but it's not 350. There's one decimal place in the question, which is this 5 here. It's a decimal number. There's no other decimal numbers in the whole question. So just 1. So we have 1 in the answer, which makes it 35.0. Remember how I said the answer was 35 when I did it in my head? Because 35 point nothing is the same as 35. So the answer is 35 or 35.0, which you'd probably get if you did the column method. And we're on question 15. This is we'll do bus stop for this. You need your 20 times table, which might not be too hard for you. If you want a quick way of writing your 20 times table, this is a good little skill to have in maths. You just write your 2's and put a 0 on the end. That's a great way to have your 20 times table. I might as well do them all. You never need more than 9. Sometimes I go up to 10 to give myself a check, but I don't need to on this because it's an easy times table. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Place a 0 and it becomes 20, 40, 60, 80. So you could do that with all your times tables. You could turn your 3s into your 30s, your 4s into your 40s, and then I've got that to help me with this bus stop. How many 20s in 4? 0, carried a 4. How many 20s in 48? 1, 2, but not 3, so just 2. I counted up to 40, but that says 48, so the 8 is a remainder, which I didn't use. How many 20s in 82? 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4. I counted up to 80, but that says 82, so remainder 2 that I didn't use. How many 20s in 20? 1. That works. These questions in the arithmetic papers don't normally have a remainder, so you know you're probably right if you got to the end and there was no remainder at the end. 241 we get. Division makes things smaller after all, so 4,820. When we shared it between 20, they only got 241 each. Some of you, just a few of you might notice 241 is half of the front part of that number, isn't it? So some of you might be able to use that as a check. Let's go on to question 16. Year 6 level. Don't need to do any workings for this one because 200 plus something is 245.93. Well, we've got the 200. We haven't got the 45.93. So what's missing is 45.93. That's what goes in the box. That was pretty easy. That goes in a box. So it says 200 plus 45.93 is 245.93. That makes sense. And question 17. Column addition with two numbers which could be money, couldn't they? £3.78, £2.65, it could be. Get lots of questions like this in tests because money is obviously a very common thing to work with. 8 plus 5 is 13. 7 and 6 is 13, plus 1 is 14. 3 and 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 3 and a bit plus 2 and a bit turned out to be 6 and a bit. 3 plus 2 is only 5, but it was the carried one here that made it go up to 6. Yep, 6.43, happy with that. And question 18. Separate, we had this word once before. I think when Mr. Blom did the video. Separate. Separate 1.67 from 5. Separate is an unusual word, but they do in the SATs in year 6 love to throw in words that confuse you, that they've never put in before, and one of those once was separate. So if it is in maths, it really has to mean take away. Separate 1.67 from 5, you're taking it away. It's like, just say you were talking too much in class to your friend, you might get separated from your friend in the class, which means taken away to sit somewhere else. So separate means take away. In maths, if it comes up, it doesn't come up much. So separate 1.67 from 5. Take away 1.67 from 5. So 5 is the biggest number. 5.00, take away 1.67. Unusual to see the word separate, but I'm sure it will come up some point. So let's do the borrowing or the taking. 3.33. Number bonds tell you 33 and 67 goes together to make 100. So 3.33 is correct, and we're on question 19. Quite a long multiplication. 358 times 28. 358 times 28. We're going to need two lines. I'm going to place a 0 on that second line. I'm going to do that early so I don't forget. Now I'm going to do 8 times 358 and put it in the top line here. 8 times 358. I'll do this in purple. 8 times 8 is 64, isn't it? A square number, 64, because it's 8 times 8 makes 64. 8 8 is 64. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 6 is 46. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. I'll quickly go over that. 8 times 8, 64. 8 times 5, 40. Plus 6, 46. 8 times 3, 24. I think that's okay. Next line I'll do in red. 2 times 8, 16. 2 times 5, 10. Plus 1, 11. 2 times 3, 6. Plus 1, 7. What we did here, this actual line, the whole line says the answer to 20 times 358. But we put the 0 at the start and pretended it was 2 times 358. 2 times 358 is 716. So we've got our two answers. Then I cross out all these little ones because I don't want to accidentally add those. And I'll do the add-in at the end. You've got to add your two answers together. and we get 1,000. No, we don't get 1,000. We get 10,024. 10,024. I'm going to go over this again because I know how often I can make little mistakes on these. Maybe you can hear our music in the background while I'm checking this. Okay, check my add-in. There we go, 10,024. Right, let's go on to question 20. Question 20. $4,116 divided by 42. I don't want to write that here. I'm going to need a lot of space on this question. Squeeze everything up the top because I'm going to need my 42 times table. Might put a bus stop here, 42 into 4,116. I think I can just about fit it there. It's a bit of a messy bus stop, isn't it? Sorry about that. Let's do that again. 4,116, a little bit better. I need my 42 times table. And believe me, like you, I don't love writing out my 42 times table. You probably don't either. But the best plan, the best thing to do when you get to one of these division questions, going to take a long time, is just to get going. Don't sit there huffing and puffing about how much work it is. Just start and get it done. So, 126, I just keep plussing 42. I just keep adding 42 to make my 42 times table, which I'm going to need. I'm going to go up to 5 and hope that's enough. I'm banging into the bus stop a little bit here. 210. Okay, so 42 times 10 would be 420. So 42 times 5 is half of that, 210. That tells me that that's right. I'm going to cross out my plus 42s. And then I like to put a circle around the actual 42 times table that I've made. Make sure they're all different. And yeah, I've got 5 of them. And I'm really hoping that 5 is enough. If not, I'll be back there making the rest of it in a minute. I do personally like this best as the way to do these long division questions, but you could use different methods if you know them and if you're getting them right. But we have found this to be the nicest method, really. So how many 42s in 4? 0. Carried a 4. I already know I haven't got enough. How many 42s in 41? 0. Carried a 41. But now I've got 411, which is bad news for me because my times table has not gone up to 411. And I just have to get back to work on my plus 42s. But I have got into the habit of only doing the first 5 because sometimes it's enough and it just saves you time. Other times you just need to get back to work and do them all. And I'll go up to 10 now. They give me a nice check. Even though the truth is you never need more than 9. I go up to 10 because it's an easy check to use 10. Let's move these out of the way. I'm going to be down there soon. Plus 42. So these are long questions. They call them long division questions, really. When you divide them by 2 digits and it's not something easy like 10 or 20, they're going to take a long time. But you get more points for them in the SATs anyway. You get more points. Is this enough? 42 times 10 is 420. So if this turns out to be 420, I'm done and I've got enough. Yes, 420. Cross out my plus 42s. And I'll put a circle around the times table that I need. I would never need 420 at the end. I'd never need it. It's only there as a check. You only ever need 9 because you can't put 2-digit number up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm armed and equipped with my 42 times table. I can work this out. How many 42s in 411? A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, 378 made 9. That says 411 and I only used 378. So this is a big remainder. I was trying to count to 411 and I managed to count up to 478. I can do a minus to find out the remainder. You can see this is one of the most complicated division questions you will ever get. What am I doing here? Hold on a minute. 1 take away 8 we can't do. Oh yeah, I only have to borrow from here, don't I? 11 take away 8 is 3. 0 take away 7 we can't do. Borrow from here. 10 take away 7, 3 and 3. The remainder is 33. Remainder is 33. Now this is where I'll either be very happy or very sad. Because if 336 is on my list, I know I've done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it is. It's 8. I know I'm done because there's no remainder. And certainly in the arithmetic in year 6, in the arithmetic test in the year 6 SATs at the moment, there's not a remainder for these questions. If you get a remainder, you've done it wrong. And that often does happen, and then you have to go back and find out what you've done wrong. And what you've done wrong will normally be you've done something wrong with your remainders, or you've got your times table wrong. But in this case, it nicely worked out as 98, so I'm happy that's correct. After a big long question, I'm pretty relieved I've got that. And it's time for us to see the answers. Let's check that it is 98, of course. 98. So pause if you need to look at your answers more carefully. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.